The linkages between nature and human well-being are innumerable. So everything that we do depends on nature. Our economies, our livelihoods, our mental health, our food, energy, and water.
Biodiversity is known to also enhance the restorative effects of nature on people. So a landscape that is more biodiverse is more beneficial to a landscape that has less biodiversity.
Within the global assessment, what we found was nature and all of its contributions to people were declining at an unprecedented rate. You see that 3/4 of land-based habitats and 66% of marine-based habitats have been significantly altered by humans.
The effects of cities extend way beyond their boundaries. Right? So cities would certainly need to think about the consequences of all the consumption and waste generation within the city and how that affects biodiversity outside the region. So cities have to be conscious about what are the impacts it has on biodiversity, not just within the city, but outside.
By conducting research on the resource nexus, we tackle a dual invisibility challenge. Resources are often invisible because they have no direct and also very often no monetary value. And we look at the nexus of resources, the nexus approach to environmental resources in terms of trade-offs and synergies. They are very often invisible between the different environmental resources.
Normally we think about biodiversity should be protected just within natural reserves, and I really believe we have to go beyond these natural preservation areas and mainstream biodiversity even in other sectors. Within the Dresden Landscape Plan, we identify really areas where we de-seal, de-pave these areas, letting water being re-infiltrated into the soil. And then we try to establish green infrastructure. We try to interlink parks that exist, nature conservation areas that exist. And by doing so for biodiversity, we also improve the situation for other ecosystem services.
What we do in Singapore has a regional impact. Now, this regional impact may arise because of land use developments in the surrounding region, particularly about deforestation. Right, so what we conserve in Singapore may one fine day the only source of that species that's found in the region. So in that sense, it's connected, and I think it's good to remember that what we do even in the tiny city of Singapore has that regional or even sometimes international implication.
We try to do everything to really synchronize regional planning and land use zoning planning on a different scale, to be able to connect, for example, the green infrastructure that we try to establish in Dresden with the broader green infrastructure that is being tried to be established on the regional level within regional planning.
For advancing the nexus approach to environmental resources, the resource nexus, we need many talents, many perspectives, many disciplines. Join our network, become part of the resource nexus hub.
Any student should have a basic understanding of the challenges we are all faced with, and also of the concept of sustainable development, including biodiversity issues. In that regard, that no matter what you study, what discipline you're going after, and what degree you obtain, you should have a basic understanding as an academic. And I will foster this idea for TU Dresden.
And I see a good way ahead with our conference, Dresden Nexus Conference, Stewardship for Vital Biodiversity, that even more participants can join, even more scientists should join our initiatives.
Humans as a species, we do our role to safeguard other species, then I think we have a better chance of creating a better environment. So it's about us feeling responsible for species that are non-humans. And that's biodiversity in the city. And the city provides that kind of opportunity because most people now get dissociated with nature. So cities with high biodiversity allow us to forge that reconnection.
I think it's a multi-pronged approach from all angles, but the first step is really about what nature means to you, how you value nature, recognizing its importance in every stream of what you do. So you think about your own life, What did you do when you got up, what materials you're using, what you're eating, even the water that you're drinking. I mean, that's all valued to some extent for people, and it should be valued for the corporate sector, the private industry, governments. So I think in order for us to really move forward and we talk about transformative governance, it's really about changing the way we think and believe value. Nature is important, and then from there we'll see action and resulting initiatives kind of reflect that.